Hello and welcome back to Devlog here at Download 2024, and I'm here with nothing short of a living legend. Dino Cazeres from Fear Factory is in the house.
Thank you very much for having me.
Man.
I totally appreciate it, even though it's been raining pretty hard.
Oh, welcome to Britain.
Exactly. Mudfest 2024.
Oh, yes, absolutely. We don't want to disappoint.
Exactly.
But firstly, from a personal point of view, I'm an electronic music producer. And coming up in the 90s, when I came up, about 1993, I was working in this record shop, and Fear is the Mind Killer arrived. And it was like, I was an electronic producer who loved heavy metal. That album, that EP changed my perspective entirely. And it was the first time I'd heard like the heavier side of metal coexisting with electronics in such a symbiotic way.
Yeah.
So first of all, thank you.
Thank you very much.
What do you remember from those days when you were coming up with that sound?
Well, when we did our first record, Sullivan and Machine, we wanted that sound. We just didn't have the finances to really afford any of the technology that it takes to create that stuff. Mm. So after we finished our first record, we were like, I was talking to one of the guys at the record company, Monty Connor, and he goes, you need to speak to a guy named Reese Fulber from a band called Frontline Assembly. So I contacted him, and right there was the planning stages of Fear is the Mind Killer, which is the EP that came out in 1993, exactly. Yep. And that was pretty much the merger that helped create Demanufacture.
Yeah, and change history.
And it changed a lot.
Yeah,
yes.
Man.
I think it really exposed the more extreme metal with the electronic stuff. Mm. And conceptually as well, the vocal style, the heavy vocals, the melodic vocals in a song, the syncopation between the drums and the guitar.
It was the beginning of so many things that I think a lot of bands take for granted were born in that time period, in those records. It's like so many of the metalcore bands, doing the singing and then the harsh vocals. You didn't create that. I know a band that did though.
Yeah. I mean, we really don't get a lot of credit for that, and I don't understand why, but we don't. Yeah. And I think that newer bands now, they just don't even know where it started or where it came from. Yeah. But we know that we were putting it out there. Yeah. And it's like, and it's out there in the air, and it's free to use. Yeah. And everybody's using it. That's just what it is.
I mean, and that's before we even get onto your guitar tone. Now, your guitar tone needs all the credit for creating a whole heap of guitarists out there. You were doing the 7-string before a lot of people, apart from Steve Vai maybe, he was doing the 7-string. You were doing the 7-string in a metal way. And that chunk of what they call gens, that was happening way before, you created that shit, right?
I think the term came more of when, Meshuggah later on. When Meshuggah did it, yeah. Meshuggah later on became popular. But at the time, when Fear Factory came out, Meshuggah did exist, but they weren't as...
They weren't the same, were they?
Well, we both released a record at the same time, right? Theirs was Destroy, Race Approved. Ours was Demanufacture. At the time, Demanufacture became more popular because we actually had melodic vocals, and it brought in more people to the scene. Meshuggah was still kind of more obscure at that time.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
Certainly with my boys at home, we were listening to Fear Factory over Meshuggah,
yeah, exactly, at the time, yeah. And so, like I said, so Demanufacture pretty much opened the doors for other bands like that.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So, and like I said, the guitar tone, the kick drum tone, when we did the record, we had, obviously Raymond played on the album. Yeah. But later on, we replaced everything with electronic drums. Yeah. Only tone, not performance.
Absolutely. Only the tone. That's important to know.
Yes, because a lot of people think it's a drum machine or whatever. No. And we got accused of that.
Yeah, I remember.
It was just a form of production that a lot of people weren't doing on a whole drum kit at that time.
Now it's commonplace.
Now it's commonplace because a lot of people were doing it just on the kick drums in our genre, but we did it on the whole drums, snares, toms, everything. So.
Yeah, I mean, And
it gave a particular tone
yeah,
and sound that we were going for.
There's that machine-like sound,
correct?
You know, and I remember when I saw you guys live first, and just how I'd seen tight bands before, but I'd not seen airtight bands like that before, where the kicks and the guitar are just like absolutely on point, no room.
Well, you know where that came from? Metallica.
Metallica, of course, one.
That's it. Just that one little part.
Yeah.
In Metallica 1, which I didn't hear it in any other Metallica song.
Right.
Just that one little section.
Yeah, it was killer.
I wanted to start a whole band based on that one little part.
Man, that's amazing you say. That's mind blowing because, like, I remember when I heard one, I must have been a kid, and I loved that bit the most. So I'll see where it came from.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so. Skip forward to now, right? And you've got your new front man. You've got your latest album, and you had your remix albums. I love the fact you started doing those again. Obviously, I like that, and that was what originally got me into. So yeah. So how are you feeling about Fear Factory now in 2024?
I love it. We're ready to go.
Yeah, man.
We started with our new singer Milo Silvestro February 2023.
Right.
And we've been on tour ever since
till
now.
Yeah, man.
And we got another tour coming up, Fear Factory and Cold Chamber in the United States.
Wow.
Coming up in August, September, and October.
Yeah.
So good. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a long one. It's going to be great. And, you know, we got a new record.
Yeah.
Coming out next year.
Awesome.
Yes. We're a few songs in.
Yeah.
And we can't wait.
Awesome.
And we're going to be on tour again starting next year. We're not stopping, man. We're going to keep going.
I just love the fact that you're going to be out there showing these kids where it came from, you know?
Yes. Well, you know, and we're gaining some new fans as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Being out here, especially bands like Download Fest that maybe people who haven't got a chance to see us are getting a chance to see us now.
Absolutely.
That's why I like doing these festival circuits.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Because, you know.
It was such a cool period for metal. Was like the mid-90s on Roadrunner specifically. There was so much cool stuff going on, and you looked at that place for innovation. You knew that Monte Carlo was going to be ahead of the curve and signed the newest sound that you'd be hearing all next summer. And that started with guys like Sepultura and, you know.
Yeah.
And then Machine Head, and, you know, it goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
It's like I tried to impress on some of the younger kids what a special time that was and how much came from that time.
Yeah. Well, you know, Fear Factory was a band, you know, we're kind of like a melting pot of all of our early influences.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of it coming from electronic music, from early frontline assembly, Skinny Puppy, Ministry, Nine Inch Nails, and of course Godflesh.
Yes.
You know, that's all the stuff that came out in the 80s.
Yeah, you see, that was what we were listening to with the electronic music side of what we did, like those bands. Yeah.
You know, and Ministry, you know, put out some very big records back in the day. You know, Psalm 69.
Classic.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And same thing with Skinny Puppy and Frontline. But we were like, we wanted to do it our own way.
Yeah.
And I think we were very successful in creating something new with all my metal influences and all of our industrial influences. And not just that, goth.
Yes.
And 80s.
Yeah.
80s new wave.
Oh, I hear a lot of Killing Joke in there.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I especially, you know, with the vocals, it was very Killing Joke at times, which I really respond to. I mean, I had the honour of interviewing Jazz Coleman not long ago, and I let him know 1993-94 was a very special time.
Yeah,
you know?
And not just that. There was this kind of like, they call them spaghetti western goth.
Yeah,
they were called Fields of the Nephilim.
Oh yes,
and so that particular vocal tone was also something that Burt brought into the music.
Well, thank you for the history, thank you for the memories, and thank you for what's to come. Thank you very much, Dino Cazeres.
Thank you for having me on the show. I totally appreciate it.
Cheers,
and I hope to see you guys out there on tour.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.